He leads us all the way, playing proper football, the Sheff United way. Ale, 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 ale.
I think it's clear to see that the rivalry is finally over between us and Wrexham. That was a nice little victory tonight. I'll be honest, from the off, I was very, very, very worried about the team that Chris Wilder put out tonight. But the youngsters and the fringe players did us proud tonight. The amount of times, apologies, the amount of times that I've seen Sheffield United be dismantled by a team in a higher division. Usually, it's a Premier League team. What I'll remember, and when I start just then, guarantee a lot of you'll remember us getting absolutely taken to the cleaners by Arsenal. I think it was 6-0 away. All youngsters against our practically full team. And yeah, they had 10 changes. They made 10 changes. So it's not just all about, oh, we battered their best side with our youngsters. But I'm trying to remember how many players, let's get the stats up, how many players actually played at the weekend for us. Is it 0 or was there 1? Starting the game, no, 0 players that started in the first game of the season. So that shows you that we completely just went for it tonight and thought, do you know what? We're going to play all the youngsters and the fringe players and try and get them a bit of game time. And it was nice to see. Normally, I don't like to see that because I'm thinking, yeah, I've seen us get knocked out by non-league teams in the past at Bramall Lane when we've put out a weakened side, and I didn't want to see that tonight, especially with the rivalry that we've had with Wrexham in the past. I'll be honest, Sky put this on Sky tonight because they thought there was going to be a bit more of a rivalry, and actually, in the end, there kind of was. But yeah, throughout the game, it was a pretty mundane sort of not performance, because obviously lots of goals, lots of really good performances in there, but not a lot of big challenges, not a lot of needle between the two teams like they were the time before. Obviously, the scuffle right at the end of the game, it'll stick in people's minds. But yeah, throughout the game, it was pretty good game for both teams, really, especially in the first half. I think that Wrexham probably went into half time with the best chances, having not taken the best chances, you could say. Anyway, I think the first thing I really want to say about tonight was it was fantastic to see Michael Cooper and I'm not going to say his first name, Raksake, because I will get it wrong. I will get his first name wrong because it's not written down in front of me. Because there's a couple of letters that you could get the wrong way around and then you sound silly. But it's nice to see him in the crowd. Obviously, Sky panned to them to be like, look, these are who Sheffield United are signing. Hopefully, we've already got them signed, sealed, and delivered, and no one's going to sneak in at the last knock-ins, but it looks like everything's all good to go. I reckon they'll probably both sign tomorrow. We're going to try and get a video out tomorrow about Michael Cooper. We've already done a really comprehensive one about Raksake, so if you want to go back and check that out, make sure you do so. But obviously, Michael Cooper, we only touched on him a little bit in a couple of different videos. So it'd be nice to get a proper one out, hopefully with some Plymouth fans giving us their opinion on him. Anyway, let's talk about this game and not the signings that we're going to be making very soon, because hopefully we will have a video for you on that. Really early on, they had a chance in the first minute. That was James, I think it was James McLean, but then they said it was Boyle. So I'm not too sure. He was unmarked on the left-hand side of the box. He turns in, it looks like he's all on his own. He turns inside Sarike. He rolls it into the corner, but Gerbich, sorry, I keep scratching my nose. I've got a really itchy nose. Gerbich actually made a really, really good save. Tipped it onto the post. I did not see that coming in a million years. He had an okay game tonight. There was still a couple of little mistakes and silly things that he did. I genuinely think that if we gave Gerbich time to settle in, he would eventually become a good goalkeeper for us. We've just not got that time, have we? We can't afford to play a goalkeeper into form. But really good save from him. Like I say, he made a couple of good saves tonight. But yeah, I'd imagine if they'd have gone 1-0 up really early on, that would have been devastating, especially for the youngsters, because it would have been tough for the youngsters to pick themselves up after going 1-0 down so early on in the game. In the 7th minute, Sariki drives forward through the Wrexham defence. He kind of stops, then goes again, gets the ball. He's good at that, Sariki. He stops, then goes again. He's got such a great burst of pace. He's fast. He's strong. He's very difficult to stop when he gets going. Gets a decent ball into the box, but it gets cleared in the 11th minute. Lots of these corners coming in. We got a corner. Peck swings it in. Brewster makes an absolutely fantastic run. Trusty blocks off the man, but Brewster fires a volley over the bar. He certainly had his chances tonight, Brewster, in all honesty. But there were lots of these corners coming in. That was a slightly different worked corner. Most of them just got launched to the back post and headed back across. And usually that has happened to us a lot. With I can't remember which specific game it was last season, but the ball just kept getting played to the back stick and they were just heading it across the box for fun. It was nice to see us doing that against another team, in all honesty. But yeah, lots and lots of chances came from that back stick ball headed across the box, and obviously that's where the goal came from. But we'll get there in a little minute, because obviously we've got their goal to come before that. Yeah, so in the 12th minute, Sariki went down, the reason why I've brought this up is because it's really annoying me, because Sariki goes down, James McLean obviously carries on and carries on and carries on. It's like, we're in the Carabao Cup. We're in the Carabao Cup really early on in the Carabao Cup. No one really cares about the Carabao Cup, let's be honest, unless you get further and further and further on. They could have stopped it and put the ball out. I know they don't have to. But they could have done it. It's a young lad that's gone down injured. They're not exactly looking like they're going to score. There's loads of bodies behind the ball. Could have just put the ball out, but obviously James McLean is not that guy. Obviously then Sariki, minutes later, goes down again, gets a little clip. I think it's from James McLean again, actually. Gets a little clip, and then he goes off this time. And that's sad, because I'll be honest, obviously Sidney Peck stole the show tonight, but Sariki, for me, in that first sort of 20 minutes, was by far our best player. He was driving at them, and it was exciting to see. I don't remember the last time. It reminds me a little bit of Kyle Walker. I'm not saying that he's as fast as him. I'm not saying he's going to go on to do what Kyle Walker did necessarily, but he's big and strong and quick. And that's sort of what Kyle Walker is. And I think Kyle Walker used to be a little bit more direct back in the day before he went to Man City and just passed the ball sideways to Kevin De Bruyne constantly. But yeah, it was great to see Sariki just kind of running through the team, a little bit like Anel in his first kind of 10, 15 games for Sheff United in that right centre-back role, just kind of running through defenders. It was nice to see from that right-back spot. Unfortunately, like I say, he wasn't able to carry on the rest of the game. Like I said, I think he'd have been one of the top players in this game for us if it had stayed on. Gilchrist, completely different player. He was playing a lot of sideways passes, but looks like he's getting a little bit more confident with ball at his feet. And I think he looked a little bit, not shaky exactly against Preston, but it looked like he was feeling his way into the game, Gilchrist. And he looked a little bit more confident tonight, in all honesty. But Sariki doesn't need that confidence in the slightest, because Sariki just oozes it, doesn't he? It's crazy where it's come from, because I remember him playing in one of the games under Heke where he was just thrown in, and he looked a little bit out of his depth. That was a while ago, but he looked out of his depth, and now he just looks like a man possessed every time he gets the ball. It's so good to see. But I thought both teams started brightly. I'm probably not going to speak much about Wrexham's chances because they were few and far between. But the ones that they did get into good positions, they got into really, really good positions, and maybe they should have scored. Maybe it got another goal, maybe another two. But we certainly should have scored more goals as well tonight. In the 18th minute, City Peck, it's an absolute beauty of a curling shot just over the bar. That was a bit of a sighter. He had a bit more of a sighter later on in the game from a lot further out, but we'll probably talk about that in a little bit. In the 25th minute, the ball comes into Slimani. I think it's from another one of those deep corners that kind of didn't come to as much as what one later on did, but the ball gets knocked out. It gets played back into Slimani. He does this fantastic Cruyff turn. I don't know where that's come from. It ends up going through. I think Slimani wants to try and get onto the end of it, but Bruce is already onto it in a flash, and that's great to see. However, he does smash the ball straight at the Wrexham goalkeeper Burton, and it just feels like he needs that confidence, doesn't it? Because when he's in that position, he should be taking one little look up, look down, and pick his spot. And he just hit it as hard as he possibly could, and it went straight at the goalkeeper. Quite often, those shots, when you are hit it so true, you hit it straight down the middle. And he's good enough to be able to just pick his spot. Front stick, back stick, just pick one and aim for that corner. And he smashes it straight at the goalkeeper, which is, frustrating to see for us and obviously for Rian himself. Then in the 29th minute, the goal comes, and I'm thinking, oh, here we go again. Here we go again. Blades in the cup, throwing it away against a team lower down in the divisions, in the EFL, or sometimes not even in the EFL. Some of the teams that we've lost to in the past. The ball comes. I thought I got mixed up with a Trusty goal, but I'm actually wanting to highlight the fact that Trusty got beat at the back post, a really good corner to the back post that they headed back this time. And so Trusty sort of gets out jumped by his man, but by this time Harry Suter has lost his man in the middle, and it nips in front of Rhian Brewster. Not Rhian Brewster's fault at all. It's Harry Suter should be marking this man. Nips in front of Brewster, scores the goal, 1-0 up. Really sloppy from the Blades, really sloppy and disappointing, I would say. We should have done a lot better with that. And your two centre-backs, one getting done with somebody just rising higher and the other one losing his man. It's really poor to see. But luckily, 6 minutes later, we do get a goal back, and it was from Trusty's head, which is good to see. Obviously, he wouldn't have liked to have gotten beaten in the air for their goal, but scores a goal himself. Again, fantastic deep corner from City Peck. There was deep corners for days, like I keep saying, whether it's City Peck, whether it was Harry Boys. That seems like what they've been working on, that really deep corner, back post, headed across the box, because it's so difficult to deal with. It is like we obviously struggled with it for their goal. They struggled it for our goal. Great header back across the goal. And then, sorry, no, not that one. I'm getting mixed up now with the wall. Great corner into the box. And then obviously Trusty at the back stick heads it past the goalkeeper. The player hooks it off the line, but what actually made me laugh a lot was the fact that their defender ran over to the linesman to have a go at him and say the ball wasn't over the line. And the linesman was like, the watch went off, mate. Like, why are you coming at me? Which made me laugh. It did, because obviously Wrexham aren't used to the watches. Actually, we're not used to the watches, really. Yeah, they often don't work when we play. But yeah, it was good to see Trusty get on the score sheet, because Trusty's had a disappointing time since he's become a Blade. So it looked like he was giving it all the sort of like trying to get out all his frustrations in that celebration. So yeah, it was nice to see. We go into half time. I'll be honest, I thought that we were obviously we deserved not to go in one goal down, but I do think that we had most of the possession. We controlled the game, but I do think that Wrexham had the slight better chances in that first half. Let's have a little look at the stats. In the first half, 68%, 32% to them. They had more shots on target. That just proves from what I was saying about I thought they had better chances. But we had 10 goal attempts. They had 4 in the first half, but they seemed to come away with more shots on goal. Anyway, we go into the second half. I haven't even mentioned my new favourite player in Owen Hampson yet. I absolutely loved him in pre-season, and I'm surprised he hadn't got more of a game in the last 2 pre-seasons. But it's nice to see him in the Carabao Cup, and I really enjoyed his performance tonight. Same with obviously Sidney Peck, the new greatest player alive. But we go into the second half. In the 52nd minute, Suter brings the ball down on his chest and then ends up slashing it just wide of the post. I believe that came from a corner. Really good takedown. It kind of dropped and it came back to him. And he was really, really unlucky for that just to, just go sliding wide of the post. I don't think the goalkeeper had any chance of saving that one if that's just inside the post. In the 52nd minute, 57th minute, should I say, Rhian Brewster plays a lovely, lovely 1-2 with Owen Hampson, my favourite player. It's a great flick from Brewster to Hampson. Hampson plays a beautiful ball into Rhian's feet, weighted to perfection. Rhian's run was perfection, and the ball is played across the box from Rhian Brewster and put into his own net by a Wrexham player. L. Brunt, there you go. Lewis Brunt. Lewis Brunt puts the ball in the back of his own net. Unfortunate to him, but obviously not unfortunate to Rhian Brewster. I think he ran away like he was celebrating his own goal. Unfortunately, it was an own goal and not his goal. I actually thought Slimani had got on the end of it. I think it was Slimani in the box. But yeah, unfortunately, it was not to be for Slimani or for Brewster. Own goal it was, but Brewster, it's still a really good play for him to flick it out to Hampson, get it back, and then create the goal. He's created that own goal because at the end of the day, it is a very, very difficult ball to get rid of, and many defenders would have put that in their own net. So yeah, that sends the Blades 2-1 up. It's giving us back the bragging rights, isn't it, really? Like, not that it's that much of a rivalry, because I think it seems like a little bit of a rivalry between the fans. And obviously, Phil Parkinson's still their manager, but Chris Wilder's not the manager anymore. Not one of our players, at least from the starting lineup, will have played in that game 2 years ago. Andre Brooks came on. I doubt he would have played in that. Gilchrist, nope. Harmon, no. Reece Norrington Davis, possibly. I'm not sure if Reece was injured at that point. And then Ryan One came on. So no players from our side have that history with Wrexham from a couple of years ago. So, I'm not too sure about their side. I'm sure Dolby played. I don't know whether he started or came off the bench. I don't recognise any of the others other than obviously the lads that came on. Elliot Lee, I'm sure, will have played. I'm not even sure anybody else did on the Wrexham side. So I think it's really just about the fans, and really don't really matter anymore, does it? We're not in the same league. Could be next season. Who knows? But yeah, it's not really a rivalry anymore. It's just a bit of banter now, isn't it, I suppose? Anyway, we're moving to the 58th minute. Sidney Peck shoots from the halfway line, and that just shows that the lad has got so much confidence, so much potential. Like, it was a bit away, but also it looked like it could have gone in. It was on target, if you like. It was on target. It was just a little bit too over. It looked like it could have got in. It could have dropped in, but obviously it was a bit too strong. But the fact that he's got that the audacity to try that from distance. It's fantastic to see. 67th minute, Brewster to Hampson to Slimani, and then he's brought down in the box, which gives us a penalty. It's a lovely little move. Brewster knocks it back to Hampson. Hampson plays it into Slimani's feet. I think Slimani's expecting some sort of contact. It does come, but there's absolutely no way that he's getting his legs untangled from that. And why should he? So yeah, Stonewall penalty there. Ryan Brewster steps up. City Peck picks it up, and they're doing it yet again. The whole, I'm going to hold it for a little bit, and then you take it off me. I kind of get it in a big game where there's a lot of pressure on, but is it really needed in the Carabao Cup when we're 2-1 up already? Maybe not, but it's possibly one of those muscle memory sort of things. If you can get used to it, then they're just always going to do it. So yeah, he picks it up. I knew Rian were taking that every day of the week, but the last penalty that Rian took, if I remember rightly, was Blackpool at home a couple of seasons ago, and he struck the post. And I'm thinking, I know that Ryan Brewster can take a really, really good penalty. He obviously hit that penalty really well against Blackpool and hit the post. He scored loads for the England under-21s. He always was the penalty taker and always put them away. So when he stepped up, I'm like, Ryan Brewster should be scoring this penalty. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be. It was a really poor penalty. Really good save from Burton, got to be honest. But it wasn't in the corner, wasn't enough on it. And he just side-footed it straight towards the goalkeeper. Luckily, Louis Marsh runs in, great finish into the corner. Like, it's just, he's got about that much room to aim at, and he finds it. It's a great finish, great anticipation to get into that position to put the ball away. I think Rian's expecting this to hit the back of the net, so he's not quite ready to pounce on it. But when I played football, I loved waiting to see if I could run in and score that, because I was always ready for it. And it's nice to see other players doing that, because why wouldn't you want to sprint in and try and score a goal if it's there for the taking? And obviously Louis Marsh did that, and it was great to see. So really well taken goal from Louis Marsh there. Then Gus Harmer and Ryan One come on. I think this was a little bit of a power play from the Blades. It could be the fact that Harmer, we need him to get a little bit of match fitness. He wasn't at his best in the first game against Preston. Or it might be, look Ipswich, or look Blades fans, we're not selling Harmer to Ipswich. He's not out of the squad, he's on the bench. He's not only on the bench, he's coming on the pitch. We don't... Like, it's one of them ways when you're selling a player, normally it's like, we don't want to get him injured, because if they're injured, we're not going to be able to get that money and sell them on. But obviously we're bringing him on to get a bit of game time, or more game time, because obviously he missed a little bit of pre-season. And for me, it felt like a little bit of a power play. It's like, we're not selling him. He's not going anywhere. He's not leaving. So, yeah, that was good to see. Slimani, then in the 80th minute, plays in Andre Brooks. It's an absolute golden chance. Slimani does really well. And all day long, we were sort of overloading one side with one player just getting loose at the other end. And it was a great ball into Andre Brooks. Andre Brooks had oceans of space in the Preston game. Oceans of space at this moment. Once one goes in for Andre Brooks, the rest will just follow for me. That's what I think will happen. But he controls the ball. He doesn't quite get it out of his feet. Watching the replays back, it looks like he could whip it in this front post. He's got a lot to aim at in this front post, but he tries to put it across the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper makes the save. I think defenders were coming back on the line as well. They'd have probably stopped it. But yeah, Andre Brooks is such a talent, such a fantastic player. He just needs that goal. He needs it to go in. And like I say, the rest, I think, will follow. Then in the 80th minute, we score a fourth goal. Corner comes in, Suter heads it at the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper makes a really, really good save, because this is going in, no doubt about it. Good save. Trusty looks like he tries to head it in the back of the net, and it drops for Slimani. I think he's putting it over the bar here, because obviously the trajectory of his foot going up against the ball is sending it upwards. And when you're shooting at a goal, upwards is never a good thing. But luckily, it ends up in the roof of the net. And that sees the Blades go 4-1 up. I'm thinking that's the end of the game. It's got to be like, I'm coming up here to do this match reaction because unfortunately it wasn't at the game tonight. I was supposed to go in with my mate, but it didn't end up happening in the end. And I just thought, you know what? Pregnant wife at home, let's stay at home and keep her company. So I watched the game on the TV. So I'm already off up the stairs practically. And then just as I'm walking out the door, they score. And it's 4-2, and it's annoying. It is annoying at the end of the day. That kind of takes the wind out of your sails a little bit. Obviously, you scored 4 goals and you've won by 2 goals, but winning by 3 clear goals is always better. But same thing happened. Overload on one side, and then there's a player just all on their own. Gilchrist, for me, a little bit of a problem here. It wasn't. He didn't know that it was there. There's been a couple other times Gerbic made a really good save when Gilchrist didn't know that the player was there, and he volleyed it, and Gerbic saved it. This time, Gerbic doesn't get him out of jail. Gerbic doesn't do anything wrong for me here. He tries to spread himself, gets his legs wide, and the ball goes straight under. So it's just one of those things. I think Gerbic, like I said, had an okay game today. Couple of dodgy moments where the ball's played back to him, and then he has to just toe it to his player. With their play absolutely running down on him. But yeah, he was okay. He got a 6.9, which is par for the course, really. I'll quickly run through some of the players before we get into the comments on YouTube, and obviously we'll finish on the podcast because you don't want to see me put comments on there or hear me put comments up on screen. So like I said, Gerbic was okay, had an okay game, made a couple of decent saves. Harry Boys, really enjoyed him on that left-hand side. I know he's got a wonderful left foot. Would have liked to have seen that more tonight. At one point, he looked like he had a really good shot that was blocked. Got wide a few times. Maybe could have put an earlier ball in, but that all comes with time. And I think I enjoyed his performance tonight. Trusty got man of the match, 8.6 on Flash Score. I thought he was okay. I think the fact that he scored the goal probably bumped up his rating, but yeah, I think at times he was a little bit dodgy, in my opinion. Suter, other than the first goal mostly being his fault, I think had a good game. He certainly moves the ball quickly out of defence. Like he doesn't tap the ball to his wing back, shall we say. He thumps it to his wing backs, and that's what lets them get going quicker. And that's nice to see. I thought Sariki, until he got injured, was fantastic. I've already mentioned him, though. Owen Hampson, he had a quieter game than the last couple that he's played in pre-season, but that's obviously because the quality of the opposition's a lot better. But he certainly did not disgrace himself in the slightest. Like I said earlier, he laid that ball through to Ryan Brewster. He looked really, really comfortable on the ball. Lost it a few times, but that's when you're taking chances. But no, I really, really liked his performance tonight. Koulibaly apparently got a 7.3. I thought he was really poor, in all honesty, tonight. Certainly in the first half. And really, their second goal, last kick of the game, he could have done a lot more with that. It looked like he got the ball nicked off him. He got the ball nicked off him a few times in this game, in all honesty. So I don't know how he's got a rating that high. Peck, 8.2 rating on Flash Score. Peck just ran the game for me, in all honesty. Never looked like he was going to give the ball away. I think the only time he gave it away is when he slipped over. But yeah, he's got a big future ahead of him. I know he came from the Arsenal Academy. Obviously, they didn't want him, but if they don't want him, we'll take him on. He's a really, really good player. I thought Slimani had a really good game tonight as well. I'm glad he got the goal. He deserved the goal, even though it wasn't one that he'd opened up their team for. He'd slashed it to put it in the roof of the net, but you've got to be there quick, and he was. But he opened up their team constantly. And he's a very skillful player as well. He just needs that confidence behind him. So I do think we should hold on to Slimani this season and see if we can get more out of him. I thought Louis Bosch had an okay game. I've seen him play better. I thought he played a lot better when he came on against Rotherham. But he had a decent game. Obviously, took his goal really, really well. Brewster, oh God, yeah, I thought he played okay in patches, but you got to put the penalty away. And he missed too many good chances tonight. He really did. But hopefully it'll come. And he didn't get injured. That's the main thing. That is the main thing. Gilchrist came on, like I said earlier on, did okay, did the basics right, and he's getting more confident on the ball. Andre Brooks again looked fantastic when he came on. Ryan One looked a real handful as well. Gus Harmer was linking up the play and getting involved. And obviously, we only saw that for sort of 20 minutes. Great to see Norrington Davis back too. I should have mentioned this at the start, but it's great to see Norrington Davis back. He snuck on. I didn't realize that he'd come on with Harmer and Ryan One. But yeah, nice to see. And obviously, him giving the play a bit of a push in the back. Obviously, he's got that fire in his belly, and it's nice to see. So that's where I'm going to leave it with the podcast. Thank you very, very much for listening, guys. And now let's move into the comments. Sorry about this. I've really got a runny nose. I do apologize. I love these sorts of comments, because obviously this is coming earlier on when I'd scheduled the video earlier on. So yeah, we won the game in the end. Okay, yeah. People, I like that people are commenting whilst the game's going on. I love to see it, guys. I love to see it. So Danny Boy saying I'd start an L Suter for the next match just because of his threat from set pieces. Good with the ball at his feet too. Wilder's got a headache for QPR. I think you're absolutely right, buddy. I do. Well, I think you're right that he's got a headache, but I can't imagine he will take out Jack Robinson. Because Jack Robinson is obviously the captain. But we'll have to wait and see. What did Peck say to the Wrexham player in the scuffle? I am not sure, in all honesty. I think Peck was just trying to stop them from getting the ball, but I don't know what the problem was, because at the end of the day, there was 1 minute left and they had to score 2 goals. Like, what are you expecting to happen? Like, why are you running in the net, trying to get the ball and having a scuffle with people? To be fair, I don't know why Peck did it either, but it is what it is. Impressed how we saw out the game. Forget about the last goal. No fault of either to me. Absolutely, Rich. Thank you for that. It was nice to see passion from the likes of Peck and Marsh. Peck looked a complete midfielder, from crossfield balls to fighting with players 20 years older. Yeah, I thought that too. I love to see that. It was great. And those challenges that he was putting in, every time he got a chance to smash someone, he smashed someone. Sidney Peckham, the kids are all right. You're not wrong, Noah. You're not wrong, mate. They were brilliant tonight. Like I said earlier on, I expected us to get rolled over by Wrexham tonight with the team that was out. And they were just head and shoulders above the... it felt like the Wrexham players tired, especially in the second half, and the youngsters certainly didn't, did they? They were fantastic. Sounds like a good night out. Players give a good show of it. Absolutely, they did, mate. They did, Dom. City Peck going to be some player when he breaks through into the first team. Proper versatile midfielder and bags of confidence. What I was going to say, and this is me literally blowing my own trumpet here, but people were worried and saying, why didn't we sign Dizelle? Why didn't we sign Dizelle? And I said, after that Rotherham game, every time I'd seen City Peck, I thought he was brilliant. And I thought he was just really assured on the ball. And Dizelle is good at that defensive midfield, passing the ball side to side and starting the play off. City Peck can do that. City Peck can also play these incredible 40-yard passes. City Peck can have a go on goal. City Peck can find these defense splitting passes. He's got it all. He's got absolutely everything, and people are liking him into Sander Berger because he does glide a little bit. I think it's mostly down to the haircut, in all honesty. I actually think he's a little bit more like Stevie G. I do. Get stuck in, dynamic player, glides with the ball. Stevie G glid. That's not a word. Stevie G used to glide with the ball. The passes are there. That's what he reminds me of. He really does. And I was saying, Sidney Peck's there to step in. Like, we've got a great midfield. Souza was brilliant against Preston. Arblaster was brilliant against Preston. Then we've got Harmer. We've got O'Hare. We've got Brooks. We've got all these incredible players. Rexaki's coming into the offensive fold, if you like. And I know Dazelle was a defensive midfielder, but Peck can do that. Harmer can do that. Souza's doing that. Arblaster's doing that. We've got a lot of players that can play that position and offer a lot more than what Dazelle could, in my opinion. Everybody's got their own opinion, and everybody's opinion is valid. That's just my opinion. Got a feel for Bruce, the unluckiest man in the world. Still got 100% faith in the lad. yeah. You could say he's unlucky, but it was a poor penalty tonight. He needed to. If he'd have hit against Blackpool, that penalty miss hit the kind of inside of the post and came out. That's more unlucky for me. That was a poor penalty tonight, and he's better than that. And he'll know he's better than that. And the fact that Louis Marsh has put the ball in the back of the net afterwards, I think I was looking at his face afterwards because I'm thinking he's going to be devastated about that. He really is. Because at the end of the day, like, he's seen a youngster come in and score a goal that he's desperate for. So, yeah, it wasn't great to see for him, I'm sure. Gerbic played all right. Still feel like he didn't get an opportunity. Oh, fair enough. I was nervous every time they got in our box, but they played fantastic in the end. Gerbic still has to go. Hope we carry it on now. Yeah, well, I think it shows that Michael Cooper's going to be in goal for us very, very soon. The fact that he was in the crowd today. Still prefer Davis, fair enough. Peck is going to be our next blaster, which is mad to think with them both being so young. Blaster, Peck, Brooks, Hampson. I think I'm putting Hampson up there. I am. I think he's such a good player. Any thoughts on this Ipswich twaddle, guys? No. There's nothing with, we'll say there's nothing with Harmer right now in Ipswich. Nothing at all. Right now, nothing. I'm not saying there's going to be anything, but there's nothing right now. So that's all I can really say. I don't know whether anyone else is going to come in for with a bid for him. But at the end of the day, like, they should have come in before now, and they would have got him for cheaper. So yeah. Also, seeing Ratsaki and Cooper at the Lane in the crowd on Sky, Wilder and co have had a fantastic window. Absolutely. One thing that does make me laugh, and people probably give me stick for this, but when we're not getting the signings in, it's the Prince's fault. When we've made the signings, it's Wilder's done a great job. So it's just funny how it is. It's kind of like when the players play really, really well, it's the players that have done well, and the manager doesn't really get talked about. But when the players don't play well and you lose, it's all on the manager. It's the same thing with the owner and the manager, really, with transfers. We are still not putting the ball away. We could have had more. Absolutely, we could have more. But how many times have you seen the Blades win or score more than 4 goals? So I think 4 goals is pretty good tonight. Peck is so good. Has it all. Challenging Blast to start? Absolutely. Locks, good to see you, Locks. How did Suter do on his debut? He did okay. He mostly did okay. The first goal was his fault because he lost his man and he ended up putting the ball in the back of the net. But he had a decent game, and obviously he's not played for a while, so we'll let him off on that one. But nice to see you on the channel, Locks. Thank you, mate. Slimani had a good game. Good to see. He did. He really did. Anti-Football United. This guy can't have watched his play. I'm pretty sure he was in the last one. I'm pretty sure he's a Wednesday fan. So we won't give him too much more airtime, but that was not anti-football tonight. I don't want to block him because it's funny to see. Please like the video, guys. Thank you very much, Dom. Please like the video before you go. I'm probably not going to be on for much longer, so please like it before the stream ends. Didn't like the lineup, but hands up, beaten by the kids. Put that on your Netflix. Hampson is a player. Yes, more love for Hampson, please, guys. Koulibaly has failed miserably in the last chance saloon. time to get rid. There we go. That's what Ian thinks. I can't say that I agree. Might agree, though. Koulibaly should have been taken off 30 minutes in, kept giving it away. He just did, didn't he? Hi, Johan. How's it going, mate? Good to see you here. Slimani has some real potential, and he has been played out of position today. Good second choice central midfielder. It's hard to figure out what his position is. Let us know in the comments what you think his position actually is, because I'm still not sure, in all honesty. How far off is One, even from the bench? Is he the next big protege? I think he is. He's built for it anyway. Just look at him. He's quick, he's strong, he's massive. I hope he's going to be the next player because he's got all the attributes. I keep saying this about every player. Jebison got all the attributes. Asula got all the attributes. Now it's on that Ryan One, and they all have the right attributes, especially One. And actually, I think One's got more. Well, he's obviously got more physical stature. So really, he's got the strength as well as the pace. So and obviously he can score goals because he's shown it in the young boys team, in the academy and stuff. A really decent squad has been put together this season. If we don't sell anyone, we could win the league, right? Okay. I would love to see that. Burnley might have something to say about it because Burnley were frighteningly good the other night. Hopefully, this is Brewster's comeback season. I hope so. I really, really do hope so for the lad. He'll come good this season. Brewster just needs a goal. Nick, honest opinion, where you got Burnley and Sheffield United to finish? Right, Johan, I am not going to tell you that because you should have watched mine and Hal's prediction video where I say exactly where I put Sheffield United and Burnley. You might be pleasantly surprised, but that's what I'll say. So go and watch it. Locks here, just seen that Suter actually captained the Blades today, and another former Fox scored an own goal. Yeah, he did captain the side. I maybe should have mentioned that at the start. I don't actually think it means a lot, the fact that he captained the Blades tonight, but I think that shows more about the fact that we had nobody on the pitch that was captain material. I think Trusty should feel annoyed, even though I don't think he is captain material. Trusty should have been like, why am I not the captain? I've been here sort of around a year, and Suter's been here around a week. So, yeah, I'm not sure how he should feel about that. It's fine, mate. Nick thought on the Scum winning 4-1. Who won 4-1? I don't know who won 4-1, in all honesty. Wednesday didn't. We didn't tonight. So I don't really know who you're talking about. It's been nice listening to you, Nick, about the comments from tonight's game. Thank you very much, Eamon. It's lovely to see you, mate. Lovely to see you on here. And let's leave it there. About Wednesday. All right, okay. Wednesday didn't win 4-1. But it is what it is. They are the worst team in the league for me, Plymouth. So, yeah, I think we'll see a lot of teams battering them by many, many goals this season. And we'll leave it there. Thank you very much. Also, make sure you like the video, as I said earlier on. Please like the video before you leave. And that's us all done. It's nice to see the Blades get back to winning ways at Bramall Lane. It's been a long time coming. I heard on the TV tonight that we haven't won in 2024. And that just shocked me to my core. It did and it didn't. So it's nice to be winning at Bramall Lane. It used to be such a fortress, and we need to make it a fortress this season. Yes, it is only a Carabao Cup game. Yes, we have only beaten the world-famous Wrexham. But it's nice to see us win any game at home, whoever it is, especially against a team we've had a little bit of a rivalry with recently. So thank you very much for watching. We'll see you soon.
He leads us all the way, playing proper football, the Sheff United way. Ale, 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 ale.